Hi, in today's session we are going to talk about where can you get QlikView desktop application from, how do we install it onto a system, and how do we get started with the visualization activity using QlikView. So before we work on QlikView, let's see where do we get the setup from. To get the QlikView desktop application, you need to go to Google and therein you can type out QlikView desktop download and you will see the very first link being download QlikView personal edition. Clicking onto that link takes you to a new web page wherein you need to do your sign in. You need to put in your information like first name, last name, email address, company, and the remaining stuff. And when you say submit, thereafter you will get the download link towards the latest QlikView desktop application. After you download the setup and install it onto your machine, in this demo we are going to see how does QlikView desktop application looks like on Windows 7 interface. And if I show you how does the application looks like, when you will open up QlikView desktop application, it would look somewhat like this. I have already loaded some list boxes and some other visualization elements which I'm going to remove now. And this is how our QlikView desktop application looks without any data. In order to work on QlikView desktop application, you need to first tell where is your data source. To go to the data source, we need to go to the script editor window, which you can quickly do so by clicking onto this button, edit script. When we click on edit script, you'll see this window being loaded, wherein I have already written a small code for getting the data from a XLS file. How does the script look like? Let's try to understand the syntax for it. It says load column 1, which is ID, country, city, latitude, longitude, and the sales value from this particular location on my system. Thereafter, after you have defined the path to your Excel file, you have to run this script. To run the script, you need to press this button, reload, and this would actually pull out all the data from your Excel file into your QlikView desktop application. We say OK, and all the data has been loaded into our QlikView desktop application from that Excel file which we had mentioned in the previous window. How do I know if the data is there or not? You can quickly do a quick check by pressing Ctrl T as a shortcut, and it will show you that we have loaded one table into our QlikView desktop application, and the name of the table that system has assigned is sheet 1, and these are the columns that the system has pulled out. If I right click onto any of the column name and I say preview, it starts showing me initial few rows that have been pulled out from the Excel file. So now I'm sure that the data is there into QlikView desktop. After being sure that the data has been pulled into QlikView desktop, we can close this window, and this blank canvas we are going to use to perform our visualization activity. So if you remember, the data was about a few set of countries with their latitude and longitude values, that is their location pointers, and the related sales value into each of those countries. As a first step, what we need to do is let's create a simple list of the various countries that are there. In order to do that, we'll right click onto the blank canvas area and say new sheet object and select list box. Let's say the first list box that we want to draw out is for the country values, and herein I'm going to give the title as countries. So we can see that we have actually loaded 4 countries from our source file. Thereafter, I'm going to create another list box which was about the different cities in every country. So that field is already selected over there. All we need to do is just say OK. So now we can see all the countries that were coming in from our data source and all the respective cities inside each of those countries. Just to do a quick check, if I want to see if it's working or not, I'll just select United States and I can see all the cities that were mapped to the country United States have been selected in white background, while whichever don't fall in the United States selection have been grayed out, as you can observe. So we are now pretty sure that yes, our data load and the simple list box that we created is working. What I'm going to do now is that I'm going to show the sale in each of those cities on a global map layout or a global map chart. While working with QlikView, you can access all the out-of-box elements for visualization purpose by right-clicking onto the empty area and going to New Sheet Object, and therein you can choose any of the graphical element that you want to draw from this particular list. In order to have the global map based layout, what we are going to do is, if you look at the new sheet object list of the visualization elements that we can create, there is none of the option that says global map based layout. So what we are going to do is we are going to take a external tool that we can, the help of an external tool that we would be integrating into a QlikView desktop, so to show that data from the map based layout. In order to do that, you need to actually download an additional setup called as Google Maps Cluster QV11 master.zip. This particular file has also been attached under the resource section, and if you want you can Google for it and you will be able to get this particular resource very conveniently. All you have to do is just extract this zip. So I'm just clicking on it. After you extract this zip, there is a file inside this zip by the extension .quar. And all I need to do is to integrate this application with my QlikView desktop. I just need to click onto that QAR file and it will automatically attach to my QlikView desktop application. So as you can see in this folder, there is a file Google Maps cluster.qar. So in order to install this map, what I have to do is just double click and this will actually get attached to my QlikView desktop application automatically. As a next step, what we are going to do is, since I have already installed this onto my system, I'm going to open this layout into my QlikView desktop. Before doing that, you need to go to the view menu at the top and make this option true, that is turn on off web view. By doing so, your QlikView desktop application now starts acting as a web browser through which it can connect to internet and fetch the data from. So now if I do right click back again, you can see the layout has also changed. Although it is the same set of options, but when I enable QlikView desktop in the web mode, the options seem to be. Now I'm going to click onto new sheet object, and in the top section you can see under QlikView objects, again all those graphical layout elements are available to us, which are being shipped along with the QlikView setup. But for this exercise, we were looking for a third-party tool, that is Google Map Cluster. So let's go to the extension object section and therein check this Google Maps Cluster. So what I'll do is I'll just drag it onto my main sheet so that a window shows up wherein I can show the data in a form of a map. But this map object is still not configured. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to put up the correct formula. The formulas, all the relevant details you can walk through in the later sections. But for now, this session is just going to give you an overview how to use a map like chart in QlikView desktop. So when I enable it into my QlikView desktop application, you can see the first value shows up as latitude, and if you remember in our data source also we had a column by the name latitude. So let's select the same latitude value under latitude, longitude again under longitude, and what we wanted to measure was total sales value. So we will just correct this formula, sum of sales. Here also let's change the default value to sum of sales, and here as well. and say enter, and we are done. Now if I close this properties section, you can see the data is being pulled out from the Google Maps server for the data that's there on the QlikView desktop application. So now QlikView desktop application is talking to the Google Maps server in the backend, and we can see the data very well being pulled out from there along with the complete data in form of countries, cities. But this at the moment shows the overall data in form of United States, the first country that we had, another two countries like Albania and Algeria, and then lastly Afghanistan. Now if I have to select the data to be zoomed in from the country United States, all I need to do is just click onto United States, and you'll see the data gets refreshed for this map extension for the selection that we made just now. Thereafter, if within United States I am interested in analyzing the sale from the city Austin, I just need to click onto Austin, and you'll see the map zooms onto the city level, and I can see the map showing me the Austin data, which is 163 from our dummy data set. If I select another set of cities, let's say a couple of cities together, you can see all the values being pulled out for the selection that we made just now. So this was just a quick introduction for seeing how does QlikView setup looks like and how we can get quickly started working with. Thanks for tuning in. You can watch the later videos for the furthermore sections. Thank you so much.